Hey y'all, it's Hope at Crafty Hope and welcome. It is day 60 of the 61-day challenge that is ICAD. ICAD is index carded day, comes from Tammy Garcia of Daisy Yellow. And basically, you take an index card every day for the 61 days and alter it. You can use the prompts or themes that Tammy provides. She has those both on her website and on Instagram. And then my friend Nina Fickett also has a list of mixed media ICAD prompts that she has for each day. So I end up using both of the prompts for today, which the Daisy Yellow prompt is happiness, and the mixed media ICAD prompt is dimensional text. So I really liked yesterday's ICAD. It felt very much like me, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just keep doing that for these last 2 days. But when I woke up this morning, I could see it in my head. I wanted to make weird little stacks. I wanted to use up as many of these scraps as I have. Now, for my own personal challenge for ICAD this year, I've been trying to use up a couple boxes of scraps. And yeah, so I thought I'll just pull out a bunch of the pieces that I thought I definitely want to get out of there. And y'all, I didn't make a dent this morning. I pulled out a bunch of scraps, and here I grabbed all of the cardstock ones, or the not cardstock, scrapbook paper ones, and decided I'll put those down on my card first to kind of bulk it up, because what I want to do a bunch of sewing on here, and I want to make sure it's nice and thick and not bendy, and it helped. This card is the sturdiest card I think I've made. All that scrapbook paper on there was, yeah. I just use my Uhu glue stick to get those down, and I'm trimming off the excess. And then, because there's just so many colors and all of that on there, and it really wasn't going to be about the scrapbook paper, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple dabs of, well, more than a couple, I'm going to put several dabs of gesso down on my card, and then use a little brayer to just kind of spread that out and push all of that chaos back. So what I did want to do, you can see over there, I've got another pile of scraps that I pulled out, things that I was like, oh y'all, I just want these out of my box. I don't want to deal with this anymore. But still, y'all, there's still so much. I didn't get halfway through that box before that stack was that big, and I was like, this is probably going to be plenty, and it was more than enough. I still have scraps I put back in. But what I wanted to do is sew these scraps in little stacks onto my card. So I reached over to my pin cushion and pulled out the longest length of thread I had over there, just some embroidery floss on a needle in hot pink, and a little bitty needle. So I am going to have to, I have to use the force of my desk and press down on the card to get the needle through pretty much the whole time of this. But I'm starting with bigger scraps and stacking them on top. You see, I put that hole through, and I'm just going to sew this down. That was some deli paper and a tea bag. This is, I don't even know what that is. Maybe part of a receipt, or y'all, I really don't know. That's, yeah, just the scraps in there, and I'm just stacking them. I didn't intentionally turn them in certain directions, but they ended up falling in directions. And then when I thought, okay, that's enough, I put a stitch back through it and started on another stack. So this is pretty much what I'm doing with this card. Like I said, I woke up with this idea that I wanted to make these stacks of scraps. Now, I know for the 5-minute challenge that the Ugly Art Club has done before, this past time that they did it, I did little stacks of scraps, which worked out really beautifully. I've got to find those. Because they would be great little focals for things maybe in my art journal or something. And that's kind of what I was thinking with these, was just stacks of scraps. So I'm going to put another stitch here. And for some reason, this stack felt a little more loose than my first stack did. I don't know why. So I'm going to put another stitch across it. It ends up being an X. And if that's unintentional, I was just trying to make it more secure. And then I'm going to put another stitch into my card, because that upper right there is, bothering me that it's wide open. And I'll grab another big piece of scrap, which tends to be just a coffee filter. I don't think it's a used coffee filter. I don't think so. I think it's just got some ink or something, and maybe I dyed it. I don't know. Um, so, and again, I'm just starting with something big and working my way down to something small. And yeah, getting these stacks on here, and then I'll put another couple stitches in this one and call that one done. And I'm gonna look at this stack for a minute and try to decide if or not stack, look at this card for a minute and try to decide what else it needs. So you can see I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about that dimensional text phrase from Nina's Mixed Media ICAD, thinking, well, do I want to use a stencil and do some texture paste or crackle paste on here? But I was like, no, I have to wait for that to dry. I don't really want to do that. Let me get this stitch down. And so I'm gonna look at it and think, okay, do I want to add more stacks? Because I really thought I was gonna do a bunch of stacks on here, more than this 3. But yeah, it seemed like enough. It seemed like that is enough dimension and fluffiness and all of that. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this off. So after I look at this for a minute and make sure, I think I'm going to put one, since the other 2 stacks did have 2 stitches in it, I'm going to go ahead and add a stitch to that first stack. Y'all, I don't even know. Like I said, I woke up with this general idea in my head and had to roll with it, because sometimes those crazy ideas work out great. And I think it's fun, it's interesting, it's different. I'm glad I rolled with that instinct to try something. It's kind of like the card 2 days ago. That was a little odd, but yeah. So I decided it didn't have quite enough dark on this stack, so I grabbed my Daler Rowney FW acrylic ink in Payne's Gray and put a little in my little dirty palette. And I'm just gonna splatter that because, yeah, as I mentioned yesterday, it is the season of splatter for me. So I'm just gonna splatter that all over the card to add a little extra dark to it, because I just had that one piece of dark. I think that's a coffee filter also. And I'm gonna go ahead and dry this now that I've decided that is fine. And I grabbed these, they're glittery poofy stickers. I think they're from American Crafts. I've already put them up. I think that's what that said. And this is what I'm going to use for my dimensional text. And to bring in the happiness prompt from Tammy, I'm going to write the phrase find joy. So, which, when I put it down there, I thought, that's great. It works in the happiness prompt. It's got the dimensional text. But then I looked at my card after I got done and was like, this is just a stack of scraps and I'm trying to find joy in it. I'm creating my art and, sorting through some of that craziness that's on there. There's joy in that. So yeah, I think it really works in more layers and ways I thought it did. So I'm getting these puffy glittery stickers, and I don't tend to do glittery, but when I went to find, I decided on the stickers because I knew it would be fast. But when I went over there, it was the first set I found that had dimension to them, so I grabbed them. When I put them back, I saw another set that had dimension, and I was like, well, why didn't I use those? But that's because I found these first, and it works. So I got those down. I glued down a little bit of my scraps just so that those words aren't too floppy on there. But I didn't really want to add a whole lot more glue to this. I want those stacks to be kind of floppy, I suppose. And then to frame up the card just a little bit where you can see it, I put a little Stabilo all in black down on the edges that are kind of showing. And I'm going to activate them real quick. Try not to make it too obvious. But again, that helps add some of that dark that's not really evident on the card. And then this card is done, y'all. I hope y'all like this. It's different. It's a diversion. It's something fun and a great way for me to use up some more of those scraps. And I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you did like this, and make sure to subscribe. I will be back tomorrow for the last day of ICAD. Whew. All right, y'all. I will see y'all then. Bye.